I think we did it.
We did it.
A successful intro.
Woo!
We did not advertise this, though.
That's not true. Joey did.
Joey did?
Yeah, Joey did.
Way to go, Joey. Cheers to Joey.
And if you can hear us, let us know if it's working. Or maybe we've gotten to that point. You know, it's the third week in a row with Assad not here. Nobody's watching anymore.
We've just scared off everybody. 'Cause you know what? I don't think we're asking the hard questions, right? And the hard question I have for you tonight, Alex, is it just me, or are the thin Oreos the perfect ratio of white stuff to cookie?
I agree. I'm sorry, there's no debate here. I support this. I think I had the double stuff and that stuff. Too much.
It's too much.
All right. It's not right.
Thank you, Alex. I can't believe we actually agree on this, but double stuff is just too much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the thin, it's just perfect. Thin, plus they're thin. You can eat more of them and not feel bad.
That's true. Yeah. It feels light. You know, you eat them, it feels nice.
You guys agree on something. I know. I am just as shocked as everybody else. Regular is perfect. No, regular is too much. It's still too much. If regular was perfect, why'd they make thin?
Why'd they make anything else? Why did they not just stop? It was perfect.
I get in this argument all the time. My wife thinks I'm crazy that I like the thin ones. And like the thin, you can have like 4 or 5 of them and not feel like you're having way too much stuff. I may have to rethink my whole support. There we go. See, now we are officially scaring people away with our Oreo talk. This has been Oreo Chat, episode 87.
Now, is an Oreo a sandwich? Would you call Oreo a sandwich?
Oh, that's what it's like. Is a burger a sandwich, or is it a burger?
All right, is an Oreo burger?
Is Oreo a burger?
Or a sandwich?
I think you gotta have more. Is it more than one layer? I don't know. Is there someone out there who just has 2 blank pieces of bread and a slice of ham? Is that a sandwich?
I do that all the time.
Oh boy.
We're stalling for a special guest. You'll know what happens is I'll do the special guest line that everybody loves.
Really? This is all my material that I have tonight. Okay. I don't know what.
I think Jeff Pacino wants to know chocolate chip, chewy or regular?
What? What's a chewy chocolate chip? What is a chewy chocolate chip?
It's a type of chocolate chip where it's like chewy. It's this weird. The answer is not chewy. Chewy is not the right choice.
Is it an unfinished chocolate chip?
No,
I could get behind.
It could be. It could be, honestly. But I got some gripe with the chocolate chips. The chocolate chips are not what it used to be. Like they used to be really good.
What did they used to be, Alex? Tell us the old days.
I don't have an explanation on how. I don't have an explanation on why. But they changed their packaging, and when the packaging changed, somehow cookies didn't taste the same no more to me. That's it. That's where we're at.
You heard it here first. Chocolate chips are not the same. Hey, we got a scheming skeleton in the chat. How's it going, my friend? Although he was chirping my my van the other day, and I was like, you don't chirp the van. We would have not have had a successful time without that van. Finished my Erica deck. Now it's time to test it out. Interesting. Nice. Erica deck. That's really cool. I've always enjoyed playing as Erica and the with some of that color combination with that 150 aura, but 18 health. It's well, we're gonna get into. I think we're gonna get into our where we think the champions are at with two months out from the championship. We're gonna give our perspectives, and whether or not you listen to us is up to you.
Mm-hmm. Were you driving Jordan around? Is that what's going on here?
You were there. You were at Origins.
I thought
he was there as well.
Like last week.
It was not that long ago.
You're bad,
Alex. You need to check your. You need to go to doctor, get some tests. That was not that long ago, and you are younger than I am, and you're definitely younger than Jordan. Oh, and Jeff.
All right, what you been playing, and how's it been going with that playing?
Really? You've heard my beef.
right. Well, what are you even playing?
Half of Discord has heard my beef, and no one responded back to me. I was really pissed. I tried to put out a really poignant, thought-provoking argument out there, and I was going to have a sign. 1 second, I'm going to make a sign. Bam, or do a little bit.
Okay, I'll go through some of the decks.
I don't have a pen.
On the weekend, I played some Basin.
Hey,
but
you've already sworn once on this YouTube stream, so no more swearing from you.
All right. So I played a Basin deck, but it was really just like cobbled together Basin. It didn't do well. It did not do well at all. It got crushed. The pieces that were good, I never had enough of them, and the pieces that were bad,
oh no, this doesn't show up.
they were just okay. There you go.
Look at that.
Right there.
All I gotta say. So you cobbled together, it didn't work? What didn't work about it?
Like it always felt like I wanted two emergent worms at the same time. If you got one in the hand, it was never good enough. You know what I meant? I don't know what that smile face is.
Sorry, I'm not going to respond to it. We're just going to let it pass. We're going to move on.
I was playing Cackling Scavenger, and then my opponents were almost all playing range summons, so it was almost irrelevant.
So this is what Alex and I were talking about. Cackling Scavenger in Future League was like off the charts. Like I think we both had conversations about like we need to actually maybe pull this back because
it was supposed to, I'll go. I brought it and I was like, I want to nerf this, and Sid was like, nah, and that was it. I guess he was right on this one.
He must have been.
He was right.
like honestly, like I played Shun on the weekend as well, and like I was playing the deck that I played in Future League, which just seemed to like crush anything that had a summon, right? Because the whole point of Cackling Scavenger is it shuts down the summons, and the summons can't get around to attack it from behind because that's where Shun is, right? It basically stands in front, you move around the board, and it just hits really hard. But if they're playing, tsunamis, called shots, bolt shots, hellchasms, volley of arrows, rain of arrows, all these things. Sorry, that's my dog. It just dies. It just like goes into a puddle and starts saying, does nothing, right? And I don't know. It's been really strange because some of the Future League decks that you and I played just aren't performing in the actual meta of the game, for whatever reason. But,
I agree.
What else did you play?
I agree. So that was one deck. During the week, I did some online games with a few people. I played a Shun deck that just got more crushed than that Basin deck I just ran. Like, just got decimated. Wasn't even funny. Like, I thought I had an amazing hand. And maybe this is just a bit unlucky. Like, I had like 3 pieces of like shut down kind of tech.
Yeah.
And I went for a Vampire's Kiss. They tried to warp, do a warping sweep or whatever. I tried to shut it down. They did another warping sweep. I shut it down.
Yep.
They do a warping sweep. I shut it down. And they played a 4th evasion. I was like, oh my god. And then there goes all my cards. And I still have 2 summons I have to kill somehow.
I think that happens a lot right now. I think there's a lot. I think warping strike just outright replaces sidestep. Right?
I would agree.
Now you're going to do damage on top of that as well. And so you can run more of them, right? It's now your damage and your invasion in one. I think that card is nuts.
I agree. I would agree.
Did you run Epiphany in your Basin deck?
No.
See, there you go. He would have won.
There you go. That was my issue.
Also, Rope Tornado is insane.
Yeah?
I think this might be the time where you were wrong, Alex.
Yeah?
The community is against you.
Well, I didn't say I've not disagreed or nothing yet. I haven't played against it. I have not faced it.
You're like, oh no, not Rope Tornado. You want Substrikes. That's what you said.
Yeah, and your Iblis deck.
You.
Yeah, I was like, you're right. You're complaining about I don't have enough aura. Use a Substrike, cost no aura. Done.
Iblis. Oh, Iblis. You're just arrived too soon with no card pool.
I'm feeling that a little bit. Only
Mm.
because I wanted to build a new Iblis deck,
Yeah.
and I went to build, and I'm like, what 3s, 4s, and 5s can I play with Iblis? And I was like, oh,
Wind
not
slash,
really
blow
much.
away, nothing.
Not really much.
Community is always against Alex. Really?
No,
I feel like the community is always against me. So I did try Iblis on Thursday night. Worked really, really well until I came up against Tashir.
Yeah.
Like I faced an Alta. Alta was playing some of those, those 3-chi elemental strikes, and I was like, this does nothing to Iblis.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first two decks were all out damage. I did come up across a fatigue, and that was real scary as Iblis because
It's scary, but does fatigue ever get there is the question,
no,
right?
I was able to
Never
kill
get
them
there.
before they were able to because they were playing Essa, and Essa only has 22 health.
Yeah.
But I tried out the Shield Major because people in the community were murmuring about the Shield Major with Iblis. And for 14 ore, it is really fun to sort of just move Iblis around the board a lot.
That's fair, yeah.
And it gets you into positions where you can always attack for 3. But sometimes you just need your summon to attack, and that thing is useless for attacking.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yep, it's true.
And then if your opponent, as soon as your opponent figures out what you're doing with the shield majors, they just pick them off, and then you're dead in the water like normal. So, I have gone back to sort of the range options, like a Tower Sphinx or a Bombardier Beetle, like something with a 2 damage and the Tarantulas to try using Iblis more as like a run into the middle, sort of use your damage prevention to sort of take a bunch of hits while your summons can kind of clean up. But I don't know. I don't know. Do we have our special guest, or do we want to get into our main topic?
No, I haven't said the line yet, so.
Oh, okay. So we want to just jump in.
So was that all your games?
Yeah. Iblis, great until the end, till basically a hard counter against it just got swarmed into sheer. And then on Saturday it was the Shun deck, and then I got epiphanied 5 times. Because guess what? The one epiphany almost always found another one. Not always, because of the restriction of 4. But they were all Kato and Kareen builds that I was facing. It was just basically poor little Shun walking into Axon versus Thymos. Or no, Axon versus Thymos. And I don't know. But my biggest issue, though, with it, and this is just like my honest opinion, as much as I try to push people to have conversations about this and actually talk it through, the biggest issue is at the end of the day when they beat me, like they won the match, right? And I was watching the decks performing against other people. The Epiphany created such a swing in their game that if they didn't have it, they lost.
Yeah.
And if they did have it, they won.
Yeah.
Right? And my fear is that we're never actually going to see the quote-unquote broken result that is required to get something banned in this game, because Epiphany will always swing the game. But when you're in that moment and you have like, I've got 4 cards in my hand, I've got all the things I need, I have all the tools, and then they go double Epiphany and kill you with like 6 called shots, right? It really sort of, it takes a lot of the back and forth, the tactics, the gameplay away, because they just had a huge turn and just decimate you. Right?
So here's a question for you. Do you think the people that you faced against like Epiphany too much to actually call it out for themselves?
I don't think so. You're saying the people who like Epiphany won't say anything bad against it because they like to play that card?
Well, that's just the question, right? Like,
yeah.
You obviously, we can look at your scenario and you got defeated by 4 Epiphany decks. So we can actually easily say Epiphany was the dominant deck there. It was running all of them. Or sorry, 3 of them, you said.
Yeah.
Right?
Three rounds.
3 of them were playing it. So you were one of the 5. You are calling it out. The other non-epiphany person didn't call it out. The other three aren't coming saying, "Yeah, this is broken. I'm defeating 20 people." But then here's another observation. If you're facing epiphany versus epiphany, then do you even have that perception at all?
But who's the yeah. I don't know. That's a tough question. I think some people, and we talked about it afterwards because that's what we do. Like, I think they can admit how strong epiphany is.
Yeah.
And they can talk, like, they can be like, yeah, I mean, I had nothing and then all of a sudden I had everything. Right? Mm-hmm. When you have all your resources, right? And you have and energy is so efficient for how well it works, right? I think epiphany can really create a big swing. Oh, yeah, there you go. Ian's in the chat. Way to go. Way to step up. But like you say, in the matchup where it's epiphany versus epiphany, it becomes essentially a die roll. Who gets to the epiphany first, or in that case, maybe who gets to the second epiphany.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just takes away from the player.
At the end of the day, the declaration we're declaring here is that when it's an epiphany game, it's not so much about skill. It's just about I have more resources than you. Versus actually playing the tactical sort of side of Genesis, I think is the complaint.
Yeah, I think okay, sure, I'll go with that. I'm not saying that the players aren't skilled. I'm just saying that
yes, yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure that's clear.
You heard that Will said none of you guys are skilled. No. All of you that played Epiphany last week.
On record, guys, I am on record. Two things I'm on record about are thin Oreos, and that skilled players can still have busted decks with Epiphany. That's actually a good Grandma brand hot dogs. I think it's got a great point there, right? It's like Rope Coon versus Rope Coon. It's just like it happens. It's just like
the mirror match.
Whoever gets the last one, right?
So I guess the better equation when we're just looking at Epiphany as a whole is when these matches go down, is the whole when the Epiphany player wins a game because they got Epiphany, and they lose the game because they didn't get Epiphany, is that balanced out at all? There's 4 Epiphanies in the deck, and they lose when they don't get them. Is the math there?
You would think not, right? Like you would think, okay, there's only 4 in a deck of 50, right? Yeah. And we can run 6 things. I have some deck builds. Well, I have some deck builds with like 16 cards, or that really silly one I sent you last night with 40 of the same card, right? And the math should be against them, right? They shouldn't be able to draw the Epiphany so often, and again, that feeds into the we'll never see it get the broken status. The deck will never win so well that we have to do something about it, right? But it will always potentially beat, other decks because of the Epiphany, right? Did they get there because they got the Epiphany, and then they beat it? Maybe the best deck gets beat because, bad hand, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Scheming skeleton.
I did wanted to say, just for fun, as an experiment, have you thought about just putting a call out there to the community in the fan server and just being like, a vote? Just be like, should we ban Epiphany? Yes, no.
Oh, I've tried. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I could. I guess I could just call it out and be like, put a poll or put a post or whatever, and see what people say. That would be interesting to see, actually, in the fan server. I could try that out. Just as a full. My Kato didn't perform. I didn't draw it often. Yeah, because you didn't draw the Epiphany. I don't know. I don't know. But what's the alternative, though, right? The counter, the truest counter is, I guess, or purge.
Or purge, yeah.
Excuse me. But the aura purge, you have to have. So now you have to have it at the same time that they have the Epiphany.
For sure.
right? Which means you have to play a few more of them in your deck, and you can because they're only 5G.
Yeah.
But what do you do with that card if they're not even running Epiphany?
It's not terrible. It's not like the end of the day. At worst, it's causing them a little aura. If you want to spend that energy, because it depends on who you're playing.
But if they're
right?
off the back line, they just step back and kill it, right? Because it's only got no. Does it have 6 health? I can't remember.
It is 6 health.
It has 6. They can't kill it.
Yeah.
He sent me a gift. Oh boy. I think a store can do whatever they want. But that's not the problem. The problem is that if we were to not play Epiphany in a store level and then go to the championship, we wouldn't be prepared for that.
Yeah.
I would actually argue the other way around. Let the stores do whatever, but then have a restricted or banned list that is specific for circuits and above. Right? Because there's other cards that we know of that can do some really nutty things that take away from the tactics. But again, this is more just sort of out loud thinking. Do we want it to be a random card game, or do we want it to be more skill based? And that's I don't know which one the people want.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. All right, let's see if this works. It's never worked before, but today we have a special guest waiting in the wings. Here he is.
Oh wait, do I have to do something?
No, I don't think so. He popped into the chat, so I assumed he would have joined by now, but he hasn't done it.
Aha. All right, well then let's keep going. Do we want to talk about where champion snapshot 2 months out?
Sure, champion snapshot.
All right, champion snapshot. I'm gonna.
Oh, I did have one deck I didn't get to talk about.
Oh, my bad.
I ran. I ran a Kasha. Oops, all defense cards.
Kasha, oops, all defense.
Yeah, all defense.
Yeah.
And I posted a picture in the fan server. That was the chasm matchup.
Was that you inside the chasm?
Yeah, I was just hanging on in the chasms. My opponent
what
would,
was the end result of that?
My opponent would run out of resources and have to break through the chasms. And I said, well, I don't have to do anything. You have less deck than me.
But then, okay, let's say that happens again. But what if they win the first game, and then they go? That happens second game, and it goes to, and they just run the timeout.
Then you would win. You would have 1 win and 0 losses.
Yeah, so they could basically lock you out of even winning.
No, you would win in a record.
Sorry, you would. So
it would
the
be,
person,
it'd be a one win, 1 draw. It would have a winning score for the match. You won the match.
Oh, so it'd be a 1-1?
No, it'd be a 1-0-1. So you would have the win.
Oh.
And plus, they can't exactly run the timeout. You would go draw end round. What are they gonna go? I do not like. If they actually stalling.
Actually stalling.
Now, with that being said, so and that was actually a fun scenario, the chasm scenario. But I actually ended up losing out of the 3 because in game 2 and 3 they got no chasms and they somehow switched into they were just a blitz deck all of a sudden. And I was like, what the heck is this? And that was with no side. We didn't sideboard.
They sideboarded off screen.
But it's the Damien. And it was like, what? All of a sudden, it was like the defense cards are great until you're like, all right, I'm stopping a attack, but now there's another attack next turn.
Now, did you play the secret Kasha tech?
Which one?
Underworld Dealings.
No, God, no. I just played Underworld Knowledge every turn for free.
Yeah, but you could do Underworld Dealings and keep going.
That's
and just cycle.
My 6G was preventing damage. Why would I need to cycle those?
Just saying.
All right, let's go on our snapshot. If you're listening, special guest. I don't know why we're calling special guest. It's supposed to be Joey. Joey has announcements to announce.
I didn't know.
But he hasn't popped in yet.
He has announcements to announce. Nice.
His announcements to announce.
Perfect. All right, I got the champions up here. No decks, just listing the champions. Let's go through. Let's see where. So, how does Fate Weaver have this? Okay, we have the Phage champions. Where are we? Where are we sitting with Phage?
I think Alta's the favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sarah is
RB.
too little health, right? Too little health for Sarah. You know, the decay deck is sort of really fun. Um,
Yeah, that's sort of how I feel with Sarah. I did build a Sarah deck, haven't played with it yet. Because I still think for some reason there's not enough people playing with Bacteriophage.
yeah, Bacteriophage is really good with Sarah at the
I don't
5/5.
think people are playing enough of that. So I wanted to give that more of a go. Um, that's pretty much it. I think there's really a lack of Sarah being played, but I've never been a Sarah fan to begin with.
Yeah,
I was an anti-Sarah fan, saying I felt that the ability was either zero relevance
Hmm.
or relevant in one of the three matchups, summoner v summoner, but 1 HP is generally not hugely
not gonna win
relevant
you the
when you're
game, yeah.
already just like killing a summon.
Now this is where my argument that I've always had with Future League is that sometimes you just ignore that second ability.
Yeah,
And you just
I can
go
agree with that.
18 health and 150 aura. I
That's
don't
fair.
care what they do. Swift drain, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, a spell, but the problem is that your chaos spells,
Yeah.
the best ones do way too much damage to her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Even Hellchasm at 2, that's puts you at 16. That's 4 bolt shots. That's sitting in Kuhn's hand, and he can fly in 2 turns and kill you, right? So yeah, I think the 18 health really hurts there. You know, you could try going into a lot of drains, but we don't really have a lot of aura drains, and essence drain is just not going to cut it.
Yeah.
So, Essa, you know, you and I have both said,
I think she's just, for me. I think she's the Fong of everything. It's just wow. She's got 3 energy.
Yeah.
Who cares? Having a reduction doesn't win you the game. Paying less on a card, you still have 6 cards to your opponent's 6 cards unless they're playing Epiphany.
you can run out of cards so fast, and then the 22 health doesn't hold up by itself. And I mean, I showed you the deck, right? You literally can build Essa without any green, and it can do just fine. Like, it's
For sure.
In general, I don't think Phage in its inaugural outing, I don't think Phage is by itself is going to do.
Yes,
great,
I can agree with that.
right?
Yeah.
But whereas Alta has the strength of Axon, that
The
allows
support of
it-
Axon,
yeah.
which allows it to be more
Yeah.
phagey and use the support cards of Axon.
Iblis, I think, is still probably in that rogue category where, you know, someone in these rounds or Swiss will bring Iblis, will ruin someone's rankings or whatever, but I don't see Iblis performing match after match after match.
Does that make Essa the only impressionist?
Only has one
no.
ability. Read the card. And that's for Jeff.
No,
All right. Let's go. Is it Fasud? No. What's Axon Chaos? I don't know my lore very well.
Sauce.
Sahas. So we have Baz and Kendra, Rain, and Core.
So are we going over old champions too, eh?
Yeah.
I definitely don't think many people are playing the Bazin deck. I think that, like I said, I played a Bazin deck, but it wasn't tailored, like it wasn't focused. Like maybe there was 4 Mordant Worms in the deck.
Yep.
Maybe if I was lucky, there was 4 Chrono Walkers. It's like I didn't actually have the pieces that make Bazin special.
Yep.
So it was rough. It was so rough. I think we know, like, with Bazin's been played a lot. Yeah, I think it was one of the fan favorites in Future League, though we're talking about Future League, you know, not necessarily being the same now.
Yes.
That I still think he has a good chance in the long run, especially because he's not being played right now, that people may not be used to him when he properly comes out.
So I think the power that Bazin has, like you said, is the fact that Necrolich and Emergent Worm are the same chi value. And those allow you, you can switch those in and out on your sideboard and become a completely different deck. Right?
That makes sense.
So you could be a Necro deck, sort of a grindy, bring back your resources, drawing cards, whatever type of deck. And then all of a sudden you can switch into Emergent Worms and you can just be a lot more burn, a lot more aggro style. So I think that ability to switch is that flexibility could be something. But again, he's got 18 health or 19 health, right? So you gotta be able to figure out that low amount. What about the oldies?
So we're going through this. Oh, hold these hosses. I think core just has the stats that we could see him out again. That's where I feel about core.
25 health, right?
If you're not doing summons and you're going caster, then I don't see why we couldn't see Kendra. I think we'll see Kendra really out there. I don't think so.
So I don't know. I'm just gonna throw those. Do you think Kendra and Bazin can exist separately, or does one just take the other one?
I don't think you play Bazin as a spellcaster. Even though, so here's the thing. Actually, let's be honest with this. Their stats are identical.
They're identical.
I'm not gonna swear. They're identical.
There's no difference. They're literally in the same color pairing with the exact same stats, except that their abilities are different, and the discard can or cannot come up. Depends.
So I'm sticking to the story that like if you were planning to play like an almost pure caster,
okay,
that you would just play Kendra because you do have that extra ability that is relevant in certain matchups.
In certain matchups as a caster, you need them to reduce their hand, right? You need to be able to have more cards than them. Yeah, that's fair. Rain, core. Rain, I think the OTK, there's pieces and remnants of it still, but it really can't compete with the Epiphany restriction. Even Foresight of the Ancients doesn't always do exactly what Rain wants to do, but it is an option.
Yeah.
We have seen some of the dancing Rain or the warp decks. But again, it's one of those things, right? Warp Rain and Warp Kareen, they sort of just...
Couldn't you just play somebody with better stats and do the warp thing? That's how I feel. Like I could be like, you could just do core and do the warp thing.
They're exactly the same, just different. That my quote? All right. Anjana.
So I think you were calling for Tashir to be a top contender, aren't you?
I think so. I think with the right build, with the right tools, Tashir's 2 energy reduction, and that ability just to hit you from almost at any point, right? Double move hit for 2, or single move hit you for 3. Like those are both powerful things.
Yeah.
Needs the right cards and the right setup. But I think Tashir has the potential to definitely go far in the current state of the game. Having said that, I think there's a couple summons that I haven't even seen being played yet that I think Long and or Erica could really have a lot of fun with.
For sure. Like I haven't gone to it, but I'm excited to build the Long deck. I haven't gotten to it. I think Long has huge potential. Like there's lots of summons to do it.
But we know that the Long summons deck of old, right? The biggest thing that was the biggest pain was that your main summon, your big beater, was just slow and a tank. Right? Yeah. But you now there is something now in the same chi slot. It is 1 less damage, but it's got the same awareness and it is swift. And that's the bear. Right? That bear, if you heal it up, it can just go to town. The other one is Longma itself, which is actually really funny. Right? You go up a chi.
Long is that funny?
That's the thing. But if you heal Longma, like we've seen it in Future League, like if you come to attack Longma and Longma hits back or can hit back, you're never hitting it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's always pushing everything back. Even if you put a roadblock behind, it pushes both of them, and the person in control of the Longma can decide which things move first.
Yeah.
And that could be a dangerous deck. But no energy reduction is going to be interesting, right? With all these 2 energy reduction potential heroes. But Fong, I don't know. Same thing with Essa. Same thing with Shun.
The real thing is like, will Fong ever change from that?
No.
I don't know. Spot. I don't think she'll ever change from that spot.
She would need something so specific to just to her.
I don't know what could be built to be so specific to her. I guess a prevention damage matters card.
But then Iblis would probably just take it.
Well, if it's a Thymos.
Yeah. All right. What's next? We have let me try these symbols again. I can say them when I don't need to, but now that I'm on camera. So we had Sahas and Ajna,
Yeah.
Fasud is Thymos Chaos. Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
We talked about Shun a lot tonight. What about Malik? What about the oldies? Malik and Idris.
I
and
feel like
Dara.
Malik's another one that I want to build for. I think, like we talked about originally, you thought that it was going to be the chaos meta.
Yeah.
You
There's a
were
lot
saying
of
it was the
powerful
meta.
chaos meta.
I think there's a lot of chaos cards. There's a lot of powerful chaos cards that can cost. They cost life. Sure, you could play Kasha, but why just play Malik? You already start with 30.
Yep.
Off the top.
You know, if you're aiming for that 4 to 6 rounds, like you got a lot of life you can spend there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really have to talk about Idris because it's top tier. Still,
it is, yeah.
Idris is still ridiculous, and I think the new cards, the power of Thymos and let me say this: the power of Thymos' lower end, and some of the powerful top end cards in these colors can really make Idris just a nut stack.
Sure.
Right? Maybe more hybrid, less summon based, but still very strong. And Odara, there's some nice meme decks.
Yeah, I don't know if people built it yet. It's worth a try, but I'll never.
Infernal Crawlers,
I don't think you can have
rabbits,
really in the Odara, but you can.
I have in my own mind, and also some of the people I talk to on the regular, I have stated that someday there's going to be a really niche Odara control deck out there that's just going to really be a really strong control, but we'll have to wait and see. And then everyone's favorite, the one that's won literally every single circuit and every single championship since the beginning, the only color pairing that actually matters. Which one's this one? I can't say it. Fadhis. Why Fadhis and Fasud? Why? All right. Let's just get it out of the way. Nubia, busted, broken. Just build it.
All right.
But 20 health. I think the 20 health is really going to hurt Nubia.
There was the comment in the chat.
I'm ignoring that comment.
Each one without epiphany.
This is why we don't do polls, because we have people there. We have the trolls that come out of the woodwork, be like, "Oh no."
The troll polls.
All right. What's the big thing that you and I have been saying off air?
Oh, the Manat thing.
Yeah.
That if you want to play Raha, just play Manat.
There you go. You heard it here. Double forward awareness, 2 damage to attack.
Yeah.
At swift ability. 24 health. It is just very powerful if you put it in that mindset. Now, I will be the first one to admit that every time I thought about building Manat deck, I was like, oh, I should just play Nubia. But I think with the amount of damage we have, with the energy reduction of some of our champions that still are pushing this top tier deck, I think that 24 health might be more important, to the point where I'm almost starting to think hey, if I'm building this deck in Nubia, what if I had 4 extra health?
That's fair. I think the most important thing to note is that the 2 extra awarenesses to the left and right forward of Raha don't actually matter.
Interesting.
They're so they rarely matter so much, because if you can move into a position where you need to move once, you have 2 spots away.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
You're already always in that position.
You can actually move back and over and still hit for 2 in that same spot,
and force your opponent to come to your front.
Yeah.
It's like there's never a time you want to go and I want to be like, I want to attack from that specific angle and just present your side to your opponent.
Yeah.
You just don't do that with Raha. You wouldn't do it. So those 2 spots.
And you know what I think one of the coolest tools is, forget the stupid Stone Protector shenanigans, all that stuff. And the other, some of that, and even the Epiphany, you could probably run it, but I think the Firing Krog with Manat's ability gives you what we were talking about before, is that positional control style gameplay where you can basically be like, the Firing Krog is going to kill almost any summon with that awareness for 5 damage. and then you can also move around really quickly. So if you need to dodge out of the way or whatever, I think the Firing Krog and Minot could really be a strong deck.
Yeah, so that was actually run this week. That was what I was talking about. I got run over with.
You got destroyed by it.
Oh, I guess this was one of my topics to talk about, but I guess our special guest just reached out to me.
Okay.
Thought we were using Discord. He'll join soon, he said.
Okay. Do you want to finish the decks? Yeah, let's just finish these.
What do we got left?
So Kun, we know it's been doing really well.
He's going to be fine.
All right.
It's like having extra movement. It's good.
We have the enemy pairings, Satir and Kasha, and then Kato and Kareen. The enemy pairing.
The enemy pairings.
The ones that were never paired before.
Satir, I think, will be a top tier summoner deck. Kasha, I don't know. That's where I'm at. I don't know.
You have to hurt yourself. It's like you said. I think you and I were talking the other night, and we were saying it's just a resource.
The best decrease I can say is you can semi-build yourself into Nubia because Underworld Knowledge doesn't cost you anything. Every turn you draw one extra card.
You have to exert, and you can't use your drain.
You have to exert, but like when you're usually playing Nubia, you're not like your goal isn't to charge in to attack for one.
Yeah.
Towards end game, you start doing that.
That's fair.
And if your game plan is to run around with the action speed drain with Kasha, it's so bad.
Yeah.
You need to get into a terrible position for it. The Thymos Action Champions, I think they're both good. It's
a toss up, right? It depends. You really have to look at your aura versus your energy, because if you're playing a lot of 5-6 energy cards, maybe you want that 2 reduction.
Yeah.
And then you scale back on some of your aura, right? But you can play Blitz in both. You can play Necro in both. You can play Firing Krog in both. Giant Scorpions in both. And Chrono Walkers. A lot of these cards are very effective cards. So it's definitely going to be a color pairing to watch out for. The other thing I wanted to mention was Hearty Soup is just like an all-star card. I don't care if I'm running 9 of those in my deck.
Well,
it's just
to be fair though, like there's never been a good Thymos card up to that point in the 3-chi slot.
What? You mean Mystical Protection?
I think Mystical Protection is actually a good one. I actually believe in Mystical Protection. I believe in Mystical Protection.
Alex believes.
I believe.
How many? 2? 3?
I believe. 2, 3. What?
How many? How many Mystical Protections? Sorry, Mythical Protection. Mystic Protections? Which one are you talking about? Which actual card are you talking about?
The one that makes you you can't be targeted by spells.
Okay, yeah. Mythical Protection.
Yeah,
we need to fix our naming system in this game real bad.
Anyway, regardless, off topic. Yeah, I think both the Axon Time ones are fine. They have a chance to be top tier, especially if you believe in Will's. Just run Epiphany. All you need is Epiphany. You'll win the championship. You heard it here. You will win the championship if you play Epiphany, because Will can't beat it. So you get a free win against him.
And just remember, everyone, I have 2 spots in the championship, so you can beat me twice.
Okay, so I have some announcements. Our special guest Joey has some announcement when he shows up. So I guess I'll start with mine. There's actually been an update to the rulebook sent today. If you go onto the website, there's no actual physical change, but if you hit the 5.0 rule button, which still says TBD, that's because us, the people who work on the rulebook, don't have access to actually changing the website. So all we can do is change the link. So you can go to the new updated site, but we fixed sort of 3 main things. The first one is the copy mechanic. So during the week, and this is why the Firing Krog came up, I did a redirect spell on a Firing Krog, cast ability.
Okay.
And all of a sudden I realized we've actually had a hard time trying to figure out how copy works, because it sounds simple, but it's super complicated. Firing Krog's ability says Firing Krog deals 5 damage in Firing Krog's awareness.
Right.
And when you copy something or you take on the aspect, you would switch the name out for you.
Yes.
So I would negate, because redirect is only far front, but I only have a forward awareness. So I'd redirect the thing, and all I could hit is in front of me.
Right.
So
So how did that fix copying though?
No, I'm saying copying wasn't actually in the rule book to begin with.
Mm.
So copying is now in there. And then we fixed intention. because the intention was if you are redirecting the firing cog's attack and sending it back or whatever, which was sort of the whole intention. Because the second part is if you took the firing cog's attack and then you hit something with it, you don't have the branding, water branding, which didn't make sense. If it's still the firing cog's attack, why would it not brand them? So now when you make the copy a summons attack, you will actually get to use the awareness of the summon of that attack. So now it's actually a buff for redirect spell, realistically, at the end of the day. And then just the general rules are for copy. And then just, I'd like to call out some fans. I'll have to pull out their name. I should have pulled out their name. They found some issues. They were just asking regular questions in the Ask a Judge section this morning.
Is this about the end of round? Yeah.
And there was two areas that were wrong. And this is just how it's wording. I'm just going to read it out. It says, the swift step is at the completion of round, the leading player chooses to add an ability to an empty stack or pass priority. We know that. You play an ability, you're going to pass and pass to your opponent. But then it said, then the other player chooses to pass priority. If they do, it doesn't say if they do, but it just says, if the other player chooses to pass priority, transition to cleanup step. So it just ended the phase, was in the rulebook.
Well, wouldn't that be a double pass?
No, see, it didn't say that though. It was missing the double pass. It was wrong in the rulebook. So we had to clean that up. Then in the cleanup step, there was a double pass written in after everything had happened. So essentially, this swift step that was above it was just another swift step below it again. That was not meant to be there. So we got rid of that.
Someone was having fun with the copy and paste function.
We got rid of that. And so the swift step is the swift step. The cleanup step is the cleanup step. There's no additional swift step in that cleanup step.
So just to review, the swift step is after everything is exerted, there is one more opportunity for both players to play a spell. The leading player, the player going first, will choose to play a spell, or they'll say, I have nothing at end of round.
Yeah.
Then you, the opponent to that player, will say, I want to play this, or I have nothing either. If you both have nothing, the round goes to the cleanup.
Yep.
Where the end of round triggers will occur, which includes Satir's.
Yes.
And Satir's trigger, once it resolves and comes in, then it goes to end of round abilities end, and the round ends. There is no response after end of round triggers.
Yes. Correct.
Oh!
And our special guest, Joey!
It's like we're pre-Christmas. Red, green, red. Perfect. It's only a little bit early.
That was our rule books fix. That is live. You can go check the rule book and have those adjustments there on there.
Make sure to refresh your page if it was open already.
Refresh your page. And the second
you said the rules.
For those Future Leaguers who like fancy things, we're going to be starting up actually getting new Future League promos.
What? I can play Future League again. Yay!
Those are all my announcements. Now here's Joy with some more.
It's fun stuff. So sorry for being incredibly late. I told Alex, I'll be a couple minutes. Don't wait up for me. It's 45:49. Sorry.
Don't worry.
Dog.
We've filled in the time real well.
We talked about Oreos for a while.
Hey, yeah. What's your take? Thin Oreos? Yay or nay? Oh,
nay.
Get
Why?
off the street. Because of the best ratio. More cookie to the stuff. It's the thin ones.
Cookie to the stuff?
Yeah. The ratio.
You get no
stuff.
There's no cream. There's barely cream in those.
So what? You want double stuff?
Yeah. And then you twist one side and you smash the two together and you just clog an artery. Duh.
Ugh.
Whatever.
I liked you, Joey.
That's okay. Hopefully this will make up for it.
All right.
Hopefully this will make up for it. All right. So, the first one is that, well, actually, they're both the same announcement effectively, is that we're growing as a team. We've decided, it's time. And all the things. We've got a ton to do. The first one, Will is gonna be yay about, because we have decided we have extended an offer to Kenny. His natural name is Jerry, but most of you know him as Kenny. To take full stack development. I don't know if you wanted people to know that.
Yay!
It's live now. Everybody has to say
The boy genius rises like from the ashes.
Yes. So we have a full stack developer specifically designed or specifically dedicated out of the gate to Geo. So we actually be focused on Geo.
Kenny, if you're listening, I expect all the changes yesterday.
I think yesterday is pretty generous. But yeah, so he's really excited to jump on board with that kind of stuff. We have a Trello board for people to provide ideas. I'm going to try to come up with some other ways for people to just kind of share bugs and thoughts and all of that. Remember that Geo is actually open source, so you're welcome to kind of play around as well. So along with Kenny kind of fixing specific things, his job is going to be kind of seeing what the open source developers do, testing those inside of the environment, implementing those changes if they make sense. So he's going to be kind of project manager as well.
Can I call for a call to action for everybody in the chat? I want you to go to the fan Discord and at Kenny and say congratulations to him.
Yes, go do that.
He's not in the chat, so you guys are saying congratulations, but he's not seeing that. Go.
Yeah,
post in
Kenny,
the
why aren't
Discord.
you here?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Even
Well, he's fixing Geo right now, right?
Oh, is
That's
he fixing Geo right
why.
now? Oh,
We
good.
can only assume.
Keep
Go
up the
and
good
see.
work, Kenny. We believe in Kenny.
But yeah, those are great things for like Ask Joey, and we'll probably have another thing for Geo bugs and requests and whatnot. I know I had the Trello board that I put up, so I'll try to make sure that that's open communication to everybody. That's going to get a lot more things on it, so you guys can see what's coming, what is requested, ideas, stuff like that. I know there was actually a Will, you brought it up on kind of a way to provide feedback that kind of either everybody can vote on or that everybody can get in and engage the conversation on.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about a good system to do that.
Cool.
Ideally one that can maybe stay anonymous or not require you to get a new login. So I've heard you. I'm thinking about how to do that in a good way that everybody can access.
That sounds
Anyway,
awesome.
that was announcement 1.
Whoa.
Announcement 2 is I'm not done growing the team. Tomorrow, I'm writing this tonight, but tomorrow I am also going to be on the lookout for a either kind of a social media marketer or a junior social media manager. So if you are interested, I'm basically looking for somebody who understands various social media outlets.
What a hashtag is, and what
so somebody understands things like TikTok and Instagram and all of those various things. Also somebody with some graphic design and video editing knowledge. Nothing extensive. It is like a small part-time contract between like 5 to 8 hours a week. So nothing major, just somebody who can kind of make stuff, push it out into the wild. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking for one of those. I'm gonna get the job requirements written up tonight. If you are interested, or if you know somebody who is interested, many ways to reach out to me, joey@hauntedcastlegaming.com, reach out to me through Discord. But yeah, we need to move forward with that because I've got some pretty big, holy crap things in the works that I'm talking to. And they're like, I kind of need to focus on that. So I need a little help.
Hey,
So I'm getting help.
that's good. Yes.
So we got.
Sounds awesome. Yeah.
And if all you can do me a favor and continue to send emails to TCG Player, that'd be pretty killer. That's one of those things I'm working on.
I got the traditional, oh, it's not in our library, but we're always looking out for new games. It's like that's the same thing you said the last 6 times I emailed you.
Yeah, I mean it's a canned response for those types of things. But I've started kind of pushing on different people, and I've got them paying attention. So I get to, I'm cooking up, like they've asked me like a whole bunch of things. It's like, hey, all right, let's go through the vetting process. And like their list of questions is like, I have good answers to that. Holy crap, I feel really good.
Nice.
So yeah, keep kind of pushing in on it because it is, it's starting to work. And I'm really hoping, I can't promise, but I'm really hoping that I have good news for everybody fairly soon.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I do plan on making an update to the website that's going to put all of these single stores because I think there's 8 of them now.
Wow.
And growing because I know there's like 1 or 2 people who've asked me about that process. So that'll be real cool. But that's what I have for now. The rest of them are going to be real fun.
What's your top 2 picks for champions for this fall? Who do you think best 2 options?
But best 2 options versus the ones that I'm going to play. I'm so into Minot. Like I was listening to the Minot conversation on the way home.
Yeah.
So the way that I've been building her is the way that I played May in Overwatch.
Okay.
Where the army swarms in, and then you put the ice walls down in a way that half of them are cut off and the rest are just stuck alone in a place that where they can't get defended.
Right.
That's been pretty fun.
Nice.
I don't think that she's gonna be up there. I think Kun's gonna be enough of a force. I don't think enough people have seen him to be able to kind of know how to deal with him. So I think that's gonna be one. I think the rope tornado thing we saw in Washington is going to get cracked pretty hard, especially given that I expect a lot more people to be looking at Origins cards.
Yeah.
And a lot of those Origins cards kind of don't care that much about rope tornado.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
As
someone's saying in the chat tonight that they think that Origins has been, one of the best sets so far.
It's been. I haven't had a chance to play a ton, but I'm bringing in like all of kind of my chests and all my tactical stuff, and I love looking through Origins and be like, oh, I've got so many goofy ideas.
Nice.
And it's one of the things that a lot of people really like at the game when they try it out. It's like, I don't have like a silver bullet against this one guy's specific thing, because everything that would be good is kind of good for everything, which is like movement and evasion and whatnot. There's no like shut down Kun, shut down rope tornado.
Yeah, we've definitely had like a triangle of like, top 3 champions for a long time, and now that is being pushed on by a lot of different directions, because you could come across a bad matchup and then that deck could just beat yours but may not actually go any further, right? So I think there'll be a lot of leveling the playing field during the Swiss, and see, that top 8 could be a lot of diversity in that top 8.
Yeah, I'm very much excited for that. But I still think, like I said, I think he's going to be a force, and I think just not enough people are going to recognize how to deal with him. So kind of watching Chris make those realizations midway through was pretty badass, but I still think it's going to be an issue. Second, God, I don't know. I'd like to think that people are going to just try to figure out Origins a little bit more and play around, and then might come up with something. And oddly enough, I think Kareen might actually make some interesting placements, because she can kind of get around everything if you screw around with awareness a bit.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to pull up the sign. Anytime an accent champion.
Accent champion. Yeah, there's a sign.
Ban Epiphany.
Thank you. You heard it here. HCG agrees. It's my never ending me on my little mound of epiphanies that I stamp on as I try to like get the word out,
Just
talk. Gotta shout
it down.
Shout it from
like Tim did. Just boop, and then you're fine.
That was an awesome move. That was an awesome play. Yeah.
Yeah. We all saw the like, oh no way. That was a lot of fun. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to hear what you guys are as far as your.
Well, we were just sort of talking about all of them.
We went over every single.
We wanted to throw you into the coals. Well, everyone's watching. At the end of the stream, the most important pieces of information, you said Kun and Kareen are the options to go with.
I think they're going to make a statement. I didn't say the options to go with. I'm not that good at that game. I'm not that good at this game. I'll let everybody know that right now.
They are fantastic picks. I think so. I think those are fantastic picks.
Yeah, I really think Kareen's gonna make kind of an odd statement, because she's gonna be another one of those people just don't know how to deal with her because of how much is at her disposal.
So actually, there's a comment in the chat there. Does that work now with their new rules or new understanding?
You could always redirect. You could always redirect spell the Epiphany. It wouldn't have been an issue.
Okay, there we go.
I almost did it this weekend.
Redirected an Epiphany?
Yeah, if they had stepped up one more space.
So your 16 aura means they're not drawing. They lose 1 card and you gain 3.
Gain 3, yeah.
Oof. Just oof.
I was sad at myself, because I should specify if I had moved up, I could have done it.
Nice. All right. Well, anyway, I think we're at the end, but I'll let you guys wrap it up. I gotta run, but yes, that's what I had. Yay, Kenny, go bug him in Discord, and I'll give people directions on like how to send feedback and stuff that need to get fixed up, but I'm pretty sure he knows. And then bug me in Discord, or Joey at hauntedcastlegaming.com if you know somebody who wants to dabble in some social media marketing or social media management.
Yeah, I think I just want to throw this out there that I think this is a great way to see momentum continuing through, right? Now that the
Mhm.
Origins is out, we're seeing this, little bump in growth, right? We're seeing a push. You have some big things you want to work on, and there's so many things that you need some help too, right? This is all positive
Yeah.
responses to get out there to the community. So
The
that's
thing
awesome.
that's been really nice is like the last 3 weeks, I've just been busy with a whole slew of things, and multiple discords are talking about meta. They're talking about gameplay. News stores are jumping in randomly. Online card shops are just there. It's happening on its own now without me like pushing or asking or like making sure, hey, community, let's talk about something.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff that we want. And it's really nice to be able to go to stores and be like, so this is a natural thing, and nobody's talking about how much stuff is worth. And they're like, oh, thank God. I'm tired of that.
That's what we said. That's what a lot of us said in the Kickstarters, that this is not that type of game. This is a different type of game.
Yeah, what's been really refreshing is getting the list from TCG Player, the questions that they wanted, and they were so not focused on like value chase, those type of things. It really was like, what's your vision? What's your 5-year plan? How are you getting people engaged? What are crafty moves that you have to be unique in the space? I'm like, I spent 4 months doing this stuff. Let's go. I'm ready for it. So I'm happy that now I get to prove that through the actions of the community. So major thank you to everybody who's just been kind of sticking with what the vision has always been, which is just, let's just play this thing and have fun.
Yeah.
Sorry that it's been a little slow and a little suck as we've sent out Kickstarter, because holy crap, that changed our priorities a bit. But we get to get back on track and be badasses in the process. And just wait till you see what we're going to do for November. Which everyone's invited to, by the way. Important to know.
Nice.
That is a 2-day thing that will have a lot for everyone to just show up and enjoy.
Yeah, it's looks like it's going to shape up to be a very, very awesome event. So
yeah, we've got some pretty cool tricks up our sleeve, but I'm gonna let you guys wrap it up.
All right.
Here's everybody.
Thanks, Joey.
Yep. Thank you.
So there you go. You heard it. You hear yourself. Band Epiphany. Joey said so.
He did say so. He said it. Wow.
Well, is that it? Is that all we've got?
That's
Did we run out?
It's 8:03.
Wait, 2
Jeff
days
just
now?
realized
Yes,
2
Jeff.
days, Jeff.
Yes.
2
days.
We need 1 day for you to start drawing, and then on the second day you'll have them done.
Well, Jeff builds his deck on the first day,
It'll be the Saturday, Sunday.
and then the second day he'll be ready to play.
I wish I could say which 2 days. It's probably the
Saturday, Sunday, 19th
Saturday,
and 20th.
Sunday. Thank you. See, he knows.
Oh, I know. I wake up every morning. It's big red circles marked on my calendar. I do my 3 sit-ups looking at the calendar to get ready for my big day. My big day that Sid isn't going to steal from me again.
All right, guys.
All right. I don't have
one.
the end thing, so it's just going to end.
It's just gonna end.
I'm going to throw up. I'll throw up the old angel, the old moving angel. How's that sound? All right. Thumb push-ups.
Thumb push-ups.
All right. Have a good one. Bye. It's my turn. Ooh.